Okay, hello everyone. We can start now. How is it going, chat? Celebrating Thanksgiving, anybody from the US or some place that's celebrating? I don't know if it's celebrated here or not. Anyway, so I want to continue doing the parsing stuff that we were doing in the last stream. I want to give some context to there is this generator of Tailwind of the Tailwind classes, which there are a lot because Tailwind is basically a CSS utility library, so you get a lot of classes like these, right? And background gray, and then all the shades of gray, and all the shades of red and blue and whatever. Rounded, XL, small, then you get the different adaptations for the screen sizes. So what? Okay, so this is our classes. I don't know, color, typography. There is cool stuff here, and then responsive is here. And so then you get all the responsive stuff that gets applied, and this generates things like if you don't configure it in any way, so the default stuff, because you can configure this generator, it's like 19,000 classes, crazy amount. So what this generator does is basically parses the TypeScript. Hello Sherman. Hey Shani, thank you for the follow. How you doing? So what this generator does is produces the type-safe version of the classes, so you can use them in your script. Right? It's basically doing good. That's cool. So it produces these things that can be used in pure script. In this case, in halogen application, but it could be it can be adapted, and it's just template. It's just a Python script that parses the CSS, the classes out of it, and writes down. This is kind of pure script. Actually, I'll be writing Haskell today, but this to do some. I'll be writing Haskell today, but to do some tools for pure script. Yes. So and this is just like a CLI tool. So pure script compiles to JavaScript, and I want it to be a bit faster than that, so I'm using Haskell instead. But they look the same, mostly the same. So this Python script just goes through all the CSS in the Tailwind file and prints something. Oh, I can show it in the code, right? Does that generate classes for custom values? Because I don't think the other day you can customize color sizes, etc. Because I got thinking the other day that you can. Yeah, I didn't check the custom values, but it should be, because I can work through the whole thing. So this is the file that gets generated. Actually, we can write the Python one, and we need to do so let's take a look first. This is the Tailwind file. It's quite huge, and it has all the classes for all the variations, right? I didn't customize anything of the output, so I get kind of like the, let's say, vanilla. Let me see if I find some more meaningful thing. OBG, right? So then we get all of these classes, and from there, yeah, this would be Parse, and from there we generate this file, which is with all the classes as, and it's taking some time to load, all the classes as pure script, basically to use them in pure script with Halogen, which is the UI library for one of the UI libraries in pure script. And then it's really easy. Whoa, what's wrong with this? Taking some time to load this file, I don't know why. Yeah, it's okay, but you generate from the output, so custom values should be taken care of. Yes, yeah, exactly. So they should be taken care because it generates from the value. So if the output is either you filter things out that you don't want to generate or you include more, they should be taken care of. And this is the Python script. It's very simple. It just prints to the terminal and we pipe it to a file. And it should be easy to customize. Here is the heading, and then this is each. No problem. Good luck. You can, yeah, if you really want to watch, you can watch after. It's everything on Twitch. Actually, I need to upload it to YouTube, but yeah. So good luck, Sherman. So these are, yeah, this is the Python stuff that generates this. It's pretty simple. It's just some regex magic matching to match the classes, and this is what gets generated, which for some reason, let's see only the how do I print? But how do I print the subset with line range? Yes, line range, say 0 to 100. Hey Ariel, thank you for the follow. How are you doing? So this is what gets generated, but it's actually like 19,000 lines file, and most of it is not useful, right? Because I'm not using those 19. Actually, said like 75,000 lines file. So I'm not using all of those classes. So that's basically what we did last time on the last stream, was parsing with Haskell, parsing the TypeScript, the pure script code, and see the ones we are using, and then this file right here, the one that has all the classes, just print it with only the ones that we want to use. So if we count now the number of lines, for count lines, so it has 76,384 lines, and if we run the Tailwind Parse, oh, what was the name? Tailwind Parse, yeah. If we run the tool that we built the last time, takes a second to write, and found that we are using only 66 classes, and prints the file. And now we can print that, and then it's 269, right? So it's a much smaller file. So that's what we did the last time. And last night, I think. I also added the terminal stuff, like the CLI stuff. So if we do pw Parse help, we get the 2 available commands, and Parse is the one that we just ran. It basically, yeah, I need a better name for it, but it's the one that generates the pure script classes out of the one that are used. And if we run the CSS, there is nothing implemented. Yeah, but so what I want to do is basically I'm cleaning up now this file. Now, yeah, it should load because it's small. So I'm cleaning up this file of all the unused ones. And what I want to do now is clean up the Tailwind one, which is here. Yeah, so I want to come to this file and clean this one up. This is also like 100,000 lines. Tailwind actually does it for you, and maybe I should be able to yeah, find a way to do it with Tailwind, but because it's not optimized for pure script, I don't know if it's going to work properly or not. So maybe we can look at that first. But no, let's do it the fun way. So what I wanted to do, there is I copied the sample file, right? So what I was thinking to do is parse this file, and what do I need to get here? I can ignore and actually even remove the comments, but they need to be here because I need to be able to parse them. So this is like the input, right? All the things that are not CSS classes, sorry, I will just leave them as they are. So we have like different things with different selectors. These are kind of like the reset stuff. We want to leave them. Then all the classes, I think, let me see. Does this work here? Yes. Step, appears, keep, Tailwind. And file is open. Yes, so okay, there is a bunch of these. Never mind. Yeah. So there are classes like this one alone, but there are also ones with media queries, right? So, and then there are some that have more specific selectors. Then there is these ones that have commented out. Yeah, this is kind of it, right? So I should be able to parse all of these, but actually I don't care about what's inside the brackets. And unless it's a class like this one, or do I have list of classes? I think there was. Okay, there should be an example with list of classes. Let's just make a fake one. Here. Container. So the ones that have a list of classes, and the classes, they should be kept only if they're needed. And that should work also for things like these. And then there are the media queries, which will also I need to parse the list of classes inside the media query and keep the ones that make sense. So let's start easy by just being able to parse a node of, yeah. this is all the CLI stuff. We can add code here. Okay, so what do we want to do? We define the data type, right? That's the thing we're going to be parsing. And this is CSS AST. It's not a real AST, it will be some fake thing, but so what can it have? Like so we need a name for this, which is like a selector plus and we are going to ignore the comments, these comments. So we'll make a parser that just ignores it, I think. So this can be like, I don't know, group tool group. What's the name? CSS selector. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to pull it, but let's say rules group. And it will have a list of selectors, which will be string, and then a string as the body, right? So this is the list of selectors, and that is code, and then this is the body. The body is just a string, we don't care. We will not work with the body. And let's say that this is a data selector. And we can have generic selector, which is a string, or we can have a class selector, which is also string, but it can have even more modifiers. Yes. So in this case, where we have something like this, so we have modifiers of the class. Okay, so this is a list of selectors, and then the body is just like the list of rules, that we don't care about the body. And then we can have a media query, right? And that would be just a list of rules groups. And it will be probably also this, right? All this stuff that comes here. So the string, and then the list of rules. And then okay, so we don't want to nest it twice. If we put CSS AST, driving Q and so actually the way it's implemented now, there could be a media query inside another media query, but although that's not valid, let's for now ignore it. But there should be a way where we can, yeah, we could define the rules group. Hello Ruben, what am I building? I'm trying to parse CSS. and I'm basically building this. Is if you check project, I'm trying to working on a CLI to optimize the way I work with Tailwind, which is this. If you don't know it, is Tailwind. It's a CSS utility library that gives you like a really long bunch of utilities, and you can customize it and generate it. But it creates a huge amount of classes. And then there is this Python script that someone shared in the PureScript forum, which gives you, if we check, which generates basically out of those CSS classes the type safe version of them, which is a module with the list of classes in variables to use it with PureScript Halogen, which is UI library for PureScript basically. And so then it means that you can use them like these, where you get the type classes when you're doing basically PureScript, right? with Halogen. And to have pages home, I should have an example here. So we import this T, and then if we search for T, we have all the usages, right? But the problem is that this generated file is huge. The CSS is okay. The CSS is like 105,000 lines, quite huge. And then the list of classes generated here is like 19,000, so it's also very big. And what I did, so let me show you. If I run the Python script and then I do word count of the PureScript file, you get like a 76,000 lines file. If I run the tool, if I run it now, yeah, it found only 66 use class out of all of those and generated this file again. Now we have like a very small file, and the idea is that if I use more of those, it should generate it again. So now what I want to do, that's what we did in the previous stream, and this is the workflow we're working with. So what I want to do now is take this, thank you, so take the CSS file and also clean it up and only keep here the things that are used. It's a bit more complicated because the input is, so this is the thing that we were parsing the last time is the code that uses the T. So we needed to extract all the usages of T dot something, right? And that wasn't that hard. Now extracting here all the classes will be a bit more of a challenge because I don't know that much about parsers. So now I'm defining the the data type that I want to parse this CSS file into. So we have a rule group. I don't know if that's the best name, but this thing here is like a group of rules, right? It has a list of selectors. Maybe we can put the sample here. Yeah, so it has a list of selectors that are separated by comma. It can be only one, but this actually should be non-empty string, right? So what if I data. Sorry, this should be a non-empty list because there should be at least one. I think so. Non-empty list of selector. Yes, I'm using Parsec for parsing. Yes, I'm using Parsec because that's the one I learned with. I know that maybe Mega Parsec or Auto Parsec are better, but so far it worked for me. But yeah, I'm not an expert, so if you're familiar with it and have some tips, just let me know. Okay, does this work? Yeah. Yeah. So this is, here we have then a non-empty list of the selectors, and then the string, which is basically the content. We don't care about the content because we will just print it again. And then what else we have? Then we have media queries. Media queries are similar. So we have the media that we will use it to know that this is not a regular rule group, but the media query. Then we have the actual query, which is just a string. And then we have a list of CSS SAT. This actually should be, I think, rule group only, so we shouldn't have nested media queries like this. But for now, we'll keep it. We'll keep it as that. I have seen it be used in another stream, but in F#. Oh, interesting. I've never done anything in F#. Yeah, but there are ports of it to different of the similar languages, like F#, pure script also. A few stream backs I was trying out the version in TypeScript, which turned out to be not performant, but that's a different thing. Okay, so we have the thing, and now let's try to parse just like the regular this. So we do say this is the rule group, and this is a parser of CSS SAT, right? So rule group. What do we want? We want the rule selector will be, for now let's parse it as only one, but it should be a list, right? So what do we parse from here? I think this is just many alphanumeric, right? Actually not, but this will do for now, and then we'll keep extending. So then we have between. Thought we had between. Does Haskell compile to native code or some kind of IL? What is IL? Sorry. I think it compiles to native code. There is quite the process in the middle, but I think it compiles to native. How to make this work, but we can close it. I know why. Okay. So what we want here is parse between. So this will be the body, and we will do between. Will be character, the open bracket, right? Then the closing bracket, and then any char. I think this will never finish. I think we can do none of closing bracket. Okay, so now we have the body, and then we'll do pure rule group that the body is there, yeah, this string, and the selector should be empty. How do I create it? How do I create one? Cookies. Is there a singleton or something? Add this and then. Okay, let's see the Google. That is not empty. Okay, this is the constructor. There is a single ton. Transformation file. Okay. That's the constructor, and that's the only way. We have a on empty of a. I think we don't have a construct. Yeah, maybe because we have the constructors already. So we can do the constructor with an empty list, right? Then in the head we put generic selector and the selector. In replace. Oh, I don't want to replace. I want to import it separately. Sorry about that. So I want to import. I don't know if this I can import that. Okay. The cool thing is that since I imported type, now these can be type from here. Okay. Okay, so we should be parsing a rule group. Then we can do, actually we can do the instance. Of show selector, where show is selector, and this will be just the selector, right? And then show class selector be the class, and the cast mod. Then in this case we'll have dot, the class, and the mod, and otherwise we'll have the class only. So this way we can print the selectors normally, and then for the rules group, instance show CSS where show rule group the selectors, then body, right? And this will be will be able to F, right? So selectors, then list. So we put the comma. No, we don't want to put the comma actually. Then we want to do install Google locally. First. Calculate. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, I muted too because I was coughing, and yeah, thank you. Okay, so selectors. Okay, so this is the where the selectors, this is the list of selectors, and then what we want to do is we want to do, I think it's this time. Where we will have a list, and this list will be selectors. Then we will have maybe we don't need, yeah, we don't. Okay, so we'll have the selectors, and then the body. Hello Danny, how you doing? sorry about that. That's it. Right. So this is how we print the. We have the list of selectors, space, and probably we want a new line here. Then we should. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So this list of selectors. Then we actually have another show, which is the media query. But for now, we'll print it as actually we can do. Shouldn't be that hard. Media query. So we'll print. Print that media, then we have space with the query, and then there's brackets, then we want to do list of nodes. We can just do map show on the nodes and then intercalate with same, but only with the new line. So we have the nodes, and then new line and the closing part. Okay, so I probably can export CSS, ASIT, and the selector. We can do show what's rule group be for data is an empty so rule group. And then we have the class selector, the generic selector of HTML, concatenated to an empty list, and then the body will be like foo bar, right? Okay. We can do, instead of show, we can do put screen, put and then yeah, we need to do show. Okay, so we don't get the spaces in front. So let's put the two spaces here, map show, and then after the show, no, the body. That's a problem of the body actually. The body should have the spaces. So if we do two spaces here, and then we do a new line, and then we do two more spaces, and then we do like legs, right? Yeah, that works. Okay. The other was sorry. Class selector, and this one needs nothing. And then this is gets the dot at the front, and if it has the just with a modifier, I don't know, all the divs. Oops, I forgot the space. Yeah, we get the modifier as well. Generic selector, shouldn't that be? Yeah, good catch. Generic, right? And then here also. Thank you for the catch. I think I wrote it now, right? Generic selector, yeah. There are some others, like not only the nodes, like the elements, but also this one is a generic selector. We could also say that the modifiers are generic selectors, and then there are things that join them, but let's not get into that. Also, these should be considered a generic modifier. We'll see how it. And actually, there is no space, so there is no space in between the class and the modifiers. If there is a space, that should be included. So class selector, yeah, so for example, if we say hover, right, there should be no space, so that makes sense. Okay, so now what do we do next? We need to try out the parser, a rule group. I think we can try to parse these files. So we can import the parser. We need to export it, which was rule group. And then we do import text parsec text, and we do parse from file. What's the type of this? So parse from file takes the parser, so we do full group, and then takes the file path, which I think is sample.css, and nice, it produces an error. Okay, so it's we told you, it told us that it's an expected comma, and it was expecting letter, digit, or the bracket. So what do we have here? There is no comma there. Maybe I didn't save it. Okay, unexpected space. Yeah, I didn't save it. I think I had this, but it was not saved. So if we save now, if we run it again, we get it anyway. We get unexpected space. It was expecting letter, digit, or open bracket. So what happens is we parse the selector, and then we just try to parse this, right? So actually what we need to do is, after parsing the selector, we have to do ignore spaces, right? So this operator here, check it, console. What is the type of this operator? Well, it takes an applicative, the parsers are applicatives, of the applicative is F. So takes applicative of A, applicative of B, and returns applicative of B. So what does that mean? If we have, for example, just hola and just a character, so these are two different applicatives, it takes both of them and gives you the first one, but it actually applies them. So if I put a nothing here, I get a nothing because one of them is a nothing, so the result is a nothing, right? So that's the same for parsers. It will first run this parser, it will then run this one, but it will not, it will ignore whatever is in the second one, but it will consume the input. So here, if we have like one space or many spaces, it should still work, right? Or if even we have like so if we try to run it again, did I save? Yes, but we're still failing. So where are we failing at now? So we ignore all, so this should be parsed. And then we parse the open brackets, we parse, so this is, it should be between these two, right? We get parse open close p, so parse is open followed by p, yeah, parses the open one, sorry, followed by p, whatever is p, parsing, then close and returns the value returned by p. And this is the exact example that we are trying to do now. But for some reason, it's not working. Are we sure that this is the one that is failing? I save this file, I reload it. Ah, yeah, it worked. Nice. Okay, so we get an extra line. So what we can do here is we don't put this line here and there. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to write. Yeah, there. Okay. So now we get this. And that's the right. The right is just basically because the result of parse file, it returns an either. So the either can be left or right. Right is for the success. Left was the error. We got the left and then the error that was inside. And in this case, we get the right and the node that we parse. Okay, so what should be the next case? Well, we should be able to parse this. And if we run it now, we get an expected comma because we are not handling the comma. Okay. So I think that should be easy to do, I think. So what will we do? Because we can parse many of these ones, but any step separated by comma, right? So it's separated by char, which is a comma, and then whatever spaces are after the comma. I think. And then we got this parse. I think. So this is our selectors. But the problem is that these selectors are a list. What? Sorry. This is still many. Right. So now we have a list of us. Yeah, the problem is that these selectors are a list. And we need a non-empty list here. And even if we say sub1, which will give us at least 1, this still results in a list. Right? And the way to convert list from list actually convert what? This raises an error. Okay, so converts a normal list to non-empty stream. Raises an error. Okay, so this is weird because kind of the point of having this is that you cannot make this conversion because you cannot guarantee the list, right? So I think we let's see it in the terminal. So in the REPL, so from list 1 gives you non-empty list of 1, right? 2, 3, that was a constructor. But 2, 3. So this is the non-empty part first, and then the rest. But if we give it an empty, we get an exception. So we probably can use this here, right? So non-empty from list and then selectors. And then this is wrong because first we provide the parser. And we do map. So we need to put it in the generic selectors, and then there we go, and then put it in the list. That should work. Yeah. So will that parse? Yes, that worked. Okay, so we are able to parse the list of things. Code KBD, and yeah, and let's put something makes a bit more sense, like code 3 and I don't know, whatever. For some reason tips also. Yeah, so we get core, pre, and div. The problem, yeah, so there is no problem actually. So if for some reason we will have an empty list, like no selectors, we should like, so we could potentially here be created, because this is a list and we don't know how many strings or list of characters, which is a string, how many has inside, so it could be empty, but actually the parser will fail here with set by 1, because this 1 guarantees you that it at least has 1. And if we write this down, it will fail. What the okay. Yeah, I was quite sure about that, but looks like it doesn't. You see? Why is this even succeeding? Is it because there are many? This should be many one, you see? So this should be at least one character. So now it will fail. Okay. But why was this? Yeah, it feels, I don't know. Why was it creating the list? Or did it have the selector with the space in it? Anyway, but now it fails, right? And if we keep this, we add that, yeah, it works. Okay. So we are able to parse the default ones, and I think if we let's remove the code for a second. Remove the comments for a second. So now we only have, so now we should be able to parse many, and they should be separated by spaces, I think. But we could make this take also all the spaces after. So void thing. Yeah, spaces doesn't do anything. So we take all the spaces after. So if we take all the spaces after, I think we should be able to parse many, just like that. So we should be able to do import text parsec as p, right? Then we do p any. Okay, it took one only. Why it took one? I know why. Because it got till here and it found that there is something that is not alphanumeric, right? So if we are parsing here, the selectors is with alphanumeric, right? So we could make this just for now so it works. None of comma and space. Tab. Right? Hexagon string literal character S. What? Actually, we can make this space. Keep running main. Expecting. First. That should work, right? Space is the problem. Okay, chat, I should be back. Sorry about that. Again, OBS crashed. I need to find why this freaking thing crashes so often. So, what was I saying? So, it's none of commas, actually. Not main. Expect an end of input. End of. Okay, none other than comma. And opening bracket. But this space, comma, or open. Okay, let's not chat. Are you still there? Yeah, looks like it's everything fine. Okay, so let's take a break for like 2 minutes and I'll be back. 2 or 3 minutes. And break. Yep. Okay, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We're back, boys. So, yeah, that was not working. Let's for now leave it as, what was it? Alphanumeric. Yes. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, it's not main. So now it kind of works. It parses a list of yeah, things, and we could actually do like map this with circulate and actually we should map with rows. Actual type. Yeah, but I'm doing show expected is. Yeah. Yeah. Then so on. Okay. We can we do chat? What can we do, chat? Does this work here? The type of result. Okay, so it's either okay, so we do f map of show of results, and then we do intercalate with line. We can do one line, and then hello Musankap, how you doing? And then we do go, then put string. No, that doesn't work. Okay, let's forget about it. Doing great, nice. What I'm working on today, you probably remember the thing I did with PureScript, the classes for PureScript, that not like object-oriented classes, but CSS classes. So there is this Python script that gives you all the list. By the way, you can do project like that, the command, and there is also and it shows you the project. But yeah, the list, all of these classes get one second that I get this thing back. Yep. So all the classes of Tailwind end up in a very big file, which has like 105,000 lines. Hey Sherman, good to have you back. Did you have a meeting or what? Yeah, like 100,000 lines. So it's a lot, and not all of them are used. That also results into a big file with all the generated classes that can be used inside. That's good. Good to go for a walk, especially now that it's not so allow everywhere. I think in Argentina it's not, you still have restrictions, right? Anyway, so mouse and cow. This generates a file with all the classes. The problem is that these files end up being very big. So if we generate the file again with this Python script, this one. Then we do the word count. You see it has 76,000 lines. So in the previous stream, we wrote a CLI to basically check only the ones that are being used. How do we know they are used? Because they are I think Sherman, you joined like 3 times when I was doing the explanation. Yeah, so they're being used basically here. Yeah, the T is like they're imported like that. If they don't, if imported by name only, then well, they will get ignored. Way to know. Oh, it could be, but it will be much more complicated. So yeah, so we go through the list of files and we find all the ones that are used, and we generate this shorter version that has only, what did it say here? It found 66 used classes and then it generated. So that's what we did the previous sprint, and now what I want to do today is optimize this file, the CSS one. So I want to go through the list of all the classes in here and see if we can parse it and remove all the ones that are not used. It's more complicated because there are comments, then there are things that are not classes, and then there are, I think, okay, we have the sample actually. Yeah, and then there are classes that have the notifications, and then there are media queries. So we are taking it one step at a time and trying to see if we can parse it. Yeah, Haskell it's really good for this kind of things. There are the same libraries in PureScript, but Haskell is faster. If you, this takes, now that I'm running the OBS for the streaming, it takes longer, like 4 seconds or something, 2 seconds. But if I run it without the stream running, it takes half a second. And it basically went through all the files of the project, which basically check all of these files, PureScript files, to find the ones that have classes, extracted them, parsed the CSS one, and generated the new file. So it's quite fast. When are you supposed to run that on CI? Actually, I want to run it locally. I was thinking of the same project space, and I thought it would be easier to do it this in PS instead of hooking to the output CSS using F5 with Tailwind directly. Maybe it will be easier. Yes. For the CSS part, right? Yeah, maybe it will be easier because I wouldn't need to parse CSS. I will be able to generate only the things that are needed. But now I'm kind of I want to do the parsing of CSS. I want to finish it or see at least how far I can get, right? So the question from Musangam, when are you supposed to run it on CI step? Actually, to generate these class names from Tailwind configuration. Okay. Yeah, that actually will be, so that will be replaced, that will replace the current Python script that generates all the class names. Yeah, I think. The other thing I did actually is there is a different version of the Python script. And then there is this file, which has the list of all the pure script identifiers, which the Python generates, and the real class, separated by a semicolon. So there are like 19,000 classes. Yeah, actually, that could actually be possible, and it will be more of an official solution. But now I want to kind of see how far I can get into parsing CSS. And after that, it's kind of done because I only need to do the filtering. So again, the question of Musenkan, when it will run. So why I'm doing this, it's because it makes the language server of PureScript and the compiler much slower. If I run, I think we can do the Python script again. So it was cut. So okay, so we have the 76,001, and if you do watch, which will run the PureScript compiler, yeah, not necessarily in real time, but maybe every time I make a few changes, I can regenerate the new file. So if I add classes that are not if I add classes that are not being used, sorry, that are not in the you see, compiling Tailwind is taking quite a long time. But that's not only the problem. So once it compiles, it's a bit faster to recompile. That's normally how it works, but the language servers becomes really slow, and it's much slower now because I'm streaming, so I have all the program that is streaming the OBS. But yeah, you still get the point that this is slow. Let's wait until it compiles and then let's try. But yeah, parsing CSS it's fun. Because I also want to get better at parsing. I want to use it for a few other things, which I in the past kind of got stuck with, and I didn't need it to finish at the moment. Okay, so it finished now, and it took a long while. And now we can do it. Yes. So now we have the version that is shorter, and it will compile again because the file changed, and you see the difference. So Tailwind was pretty much instant. Yeah, it's faster, and the difference is smaller when I'm not streaming, but still. So I can close this. That's why I think making different modules will help for the IDE. Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe yes, maybe this needs to be in a separate, like in a library, right? Do you think that will help? Yeah, maybe it makes sense to publish this. But also you will be changing your Tailwind configuration, or like, can you have local modules? Okay, I need to look into how to have like local modules with Spago that you can reference. Okay, so where were we at parsing the CSS? Yeah, so we're able to parse several, like this is, if we go to the sample, yeah. So it parses these first 4 blocks, as each of them is like one. Right, so we have this one here, it's in a list, right? Then this one, and then it fails because this is not a valid identifier yet, like a valid selector. So now we need to work on that. So we have the parser for the selector, and maybe we can do this as selector. it should be the parser of a selector, which would be the parser, and then there is a selector. Selector. It's only this thing. Yeah. Select. Then we fmap it into generic select. Then we don't need to fmap this here. Sorry. So does it still work? Yeah, it still works. But now we have the problem of parsing the selectors that are like this one. So it should parse basically none of comma and bracket, right? So let's say this is, let's put this one here. There is something wrong. And yeah, we were trying this before the break and that was an error. So what happened? It reaches the end of input and it's at the middle of a parser. Yeah, maybe we can do a bit of a search. So let's remove everything and here, because we know these ones were working. Actually, so we can leave those, right? Yeah, okay, so for those it works. So for this one, yeah, it works as well. Now this is the weird one. Yeah, it works. So then is the media the program? Yeah, looks like it's the media query the problem. Let's try the one. Oh, that worked. Pick up the container. So if we leave the media, we get unexpected end of input. Was expecting comma or bracket. And why is that? So we told it to parse many that are none of those two. So it, yeah, it should have gotten here. And yeah, I know the problem. I don't think it's the problem with the parser per se. It's actually that the body, yeah, so we are not able to parse media queries yet. Media ones here because it's nested, right? So we shouldn't be able to parse it. So that worked. That worked kind of. Let's put the media here. But actually it's parsing the spaces as well. And it's because the selectors might have spaces, so I cannot include it in the characters we are ignoring, right? But so now we need to define the real parts. Let's define it. Where Eric is this one, then class selector is class selector, where we parse I think we can do it like we parse the dot, right, and then parse for now the same. So then we try the class one, and if it doesn't work, we try the generic. Oh, yes, we ignored the dot. Okay, and actually we should be the class selector has also the maybe thing, so we can put the const nothing. No, pure nothing. Yep. Oh. Hello, maybe just James. Maybe it's maybe just you, or is it like a FP Haskell thing, or is it the name totally unrelated to it? Okay, so okay, there's kind of no way to tell if it succeeded, but just shame or nothing. Nice. So it is a reference to Haskell actually. Can I fmap this? Get the first one. Is the get. So we don't know if it's parsing a class or the selector as it was parsing before, right? Because it could be just parsing it was. So we can change the implementation of code here. So in classes, let's say here for now, generic selector, and since this is a comment, this is valid. this is valid Haskell. Sorry, this is valid CSS. So it should work. And let's put class. So if I forget, I will not break the semantics. Yeah. Class selector with mod. And then yeah, class selector. So now, yeah, we know that this is a class selector. So that part of trying, if it starts with this, okay. But we actually want to parse the rest. So we want to parse what can the class be? None of a space. Then we want to parse there is something with maybe in parsers. So okay, we parse see? Yeah, it found these. And because it stopped parsing here because it was a class. Wait, I think if we delete this, sorry. Yeah, it works. And we can see all of them. Okay. Generic selector, class selector, class selector. Ooh. But then in this case it fails because it's parsing. Stops parsing here and tries to parse the next thing. So we need to, and this start to get confused. But let's use. So we parse char, ignore it. Parse. We get then the class name. Have the class name. And now what we need to do is we need to parse the maybe, and it is off and spaces. Any. Yeah, we can do many, right? Not many one, but many. So maybe more. And then this is a list of characters. And can we have empty? Cool. So if we have thing there, something like thing. Yeah, but these are quite specific. But actually have a list. So the class selector is maybe. So this could be. I want to make sure that I have just and then an empty thing. And the spaces, actually, I don't have to include them because they are kind of part of the selector. So this is a string or a list of characters. And for now, let's just say just maybe or more. So reload this. That works. And we had the it should be around here, yes, and it is class selector with mod, so it's parsing it properly, but you see that the ones that don't have a mod are also parsed as class selector with mod. So we want to filter out the ones, the list that are empty, and yeah, we can do just case of empty thing, then nothing, otherwise just S. Yeah, I think that works for now. I could use the non-empty lists thingy. Hey, Shailandrade, sorry, I'm really bad at reading names. Shailandrade. How do you pronounce it? So I could do it like to list, no, non-empty, and then from list. Could be short. So if I do empty, sorry, empty, what? Shail Andrade. It's Andrade, your last name? That's cool. So now I'm curious, where are you from? Because if it's Andrade and I'm pronouncing it right, it's probably because it's some type of Latin last name, because I speak Spanish. And non-empty from list. No. Yeah, you see? So it's probably Jail, right? Jail Andrade. Cool to have you in the stream. Jail. Now I will remember. So list. But this is actually a map. Oh yeah. Cárcel Andrade. Yeah. I realized after that I say Jail Andrade, and if your last name is Spanish, it probably wouldn't be Jail but Jail, right? Yeah. Okay, so we get this one, which is with mod. Makes sense. But this is, it shouldn't be with mod. Yeah, now I know the problem. So there is always something here, because there is always spaces. And we don't want the spaces to be counted as mod, but we actually want these. So this space should be included in the mod, but not this one. Can we do some can we do something like trim, not stream, trim, sorry, not best, but trim. I am wrong, date string module or what was? Is extra. Okay, it's another package. Yeah, but I only want to trim empt. What's the source? Maybe drop while end. Yes, I can just like do that. Drop. So first, yeah. So we transform whatever we parsed, and we do drop while end. What should it come from? No, it's not. Yeah. For what end is space. This is probably from data chart. Yes. Yeah. So now this is only but this is not the real class selector. This is actually with okay, but yeah, this is a class selector, this is a class selector, then this one is a class selector with more. Nice. So we are getting close to something meaningful. And then what do we want to do? So what we want to do is that the class name actually should not parse all of these as a class name, but should parse only these as a class name and the rest as a mod. And yeah, we have the complication because this mother hacker is here. Let's make our life simple and for now remove this guy. Okay, I'm kind of on a roll here. I'm getting things much further than I ever done with parsers. Okay, so now yeah, get this one that is commenting out. So we want anything that is not what dots, like semicolon. Yeah. I'm back. Sorry. I had to restart OBS again, twice in the stream. To be back, baby. Back. Table, what's wrong with the internet connection? Okay, I'm back. Yep, what was I saying? Yeah, so let's for now put the dot here. So we don't want to parse dots. Actually, we will, because we will have these commented out ones. But I think the separation is that or space. So, okay, what I wanted to do is to make sure that we had the mods, and for that, let's put the mod in between something. Let's say that we put the mod between two of these things. Right. Yeah. So this is the mod. Then put this. Hey. So yeah, this is the other mod. Makes sense. Okay. Actually, we can keep it. Then we can. So if we run it now, and actually let's keep the thing we were doing where we wanted the head. Back. Yes, there. But instead of keeping only the head, we'll do take data list take 2. Okay, so we have the normal one, and I don't like the way this is printed. So say that to sorry. Yes. Fmap. Oh. Then result, and then put string line result. But why did we get the new lines like that? Okay, this is not worth it. Yeah, we take the first row, whatever. So we get the first one, which all of these is considered the selector, but actually we want only this to be the modifier, sorry. And I don't know how to parse things like that. So how do we? Because now we're taking basically that anybody knows how to parse escape characters. So basically we need to parse all of these as just one string, and if we do the yeah, the thing that is commented out is like that, then this will be considered the class, and this will be considered the mod, right? Write this and then let's, yes, so the two brackets or angle brackets or whatever are for the mod part. So this is the mod, and then this is the class name, which is what we want. But if we leave it, if we put the two dots, because the two dots are one of the things that determines the end of the string, sorry, the end of the class, it parses until here, and then the next thing is parsec. Oh, parsec parsing. Okay, parsing a string with escape characters. Nice. Yeah, with all Stack Overflow. Some suggestions. Okay, so this is the code that the author of the question has. Working through the exercises. Try escape definition. Try character first, return second. And what is first and second? Try escape, okay. Many. Replace first and second with pattern match of or explicit functions arguments. First. Yeah, what is first and second? This is tuple. First. Escape, choice. Try escape. Escape characters. If. Ah, okay, so this is all the potential one. Okay, here's what I came up with. Okay, so yeah, we could try this and then we could find the escape characters. The only problem is that any kind of like any escape character. So this is feature, choice, char, and pure. Here. Type variable argument in constraint. Type variable argument. What? I thought the microphone wouldn't catch. Sorry about that. Flexible count. Gate. Choice. escape character. It's actually Parsec thing, so yes. Okay, so zip width. So this kind of like creating all the parsers, all the options of things that could be kept. Sadly, our codes replacement. Actually, we could come up. We could write the zip list. Is already. Maybe there is a better approach, because I don't want to have to enumerate all of them.
People that are different have a shot at being original. You know, they got motivation too. You know, they got motivation.
Okay, then what? So please doing this as an exercise, but for anyone who finds this question on Google like I did and wants a fast solution, import Parsec token language. Then you can do this ACI. The literal string, yeah, is parsed according, yeah, but where we don't want to parse literal string. Make token parser Haskell definition, string literal text. Try. Okay, so import text parsec token and language. Okay, and then we can write texter literal, and then we can parser. Yes. Okay. Yeah, because the string literal is this part. Yeah, it has escape one, right? Then it's escaping this one, so it is included in the literal and it escaped. But this is not what I want to parse. Was my question. Parsing. Yeah. Parsing escape separation character parse. I just started using Parsec. I'm trying to do something. Okay, I want to separate key value strings in the Parsec tutorial. Okay. Chat, you still there? Chat is dead. Someone killed chat. Separator is fine. What you want is to accept as part of the key value instead of. Might try non-off char that is not off will accept anything that is and a backslash. Otherwise, the parser on the right will accept and skip a backslash and keep the character following it. This should prevent it detected as separate. Actually, The only one that we need to make a special rule for is this, because this is the thing that separates our classes. So we can say many of thing or is. Yeah, this we are not using, but the problem is that these are different type of parse. Because one is the parser of strings and the other is parser of a string. Takes a string and then give you parser of a string, and the parse, this one is a parser okay. So let's say we write, yeah, I'm staying a bit later today, chat. So let's say we write class it shaped colon, I don't know, and we do the same thing, right? So and then we will write for char one, no, many till, and so it takes first the a then the end. Then yeah, none of these. And actually the colon, no, the colon is not included. And then the thing that we want to stop at is this guy, right? We parse many until that one, and then after we parse the rest. So we parse many also many yep. And then mod is just before concatenated with our cape colon, cape backslash and colon, and then after, and there is no mod. And what? Just there is actually that, sorry, there is mod, and mod is fine. The one that we don't have is class name, and we make it right. Just so then so then we can have first let's try class a colon. Yeah. Then we try the normal class. Then we try yeah, that worked or not, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Now probably want to keep everything but very and we go all. So the hover, the mode is only this, and this one is class. Yeah, that works kind of. It's not. It's like a hacky solution, right? Because what do? We parse. Actually, this no. Yeah, this should work. So we should make it only in a single one where the try is inside here, right? So we have the after. These are many. And we do many till this, otherwise but we are not. One of these two needs to be maybe one, and many. Okay, so then this needs to be many one. We could make other type of logic. But yeah, it shouldn't end. Yeah, it should have stuff at the end. Okay, so we do these. Void. So this is another way of ignoring things. You just put it in void. Void should be void, right? Void comes from owner. So we should be able to try this. And if it doesn't work, then we do the normal thing where we parse. But then we don't know if this one succeeded. But we could fmap this one to, this is a list, so we do characters, and we do characters plus Okay, this is already this is ugly, yes. The character that, yeah, we can probably just concat the string, right? Then yeah, so we don't need this part. And then I think plus this kind of works for both cases. Plus yeah, I think it works. Yes, it works. Okay, I think we can leave it here, chat. Let me explain what I did quietly. So, well, the first we parse the dot and we ignore it. So it, okay, the formatter doesn't. Anyway, so we first parse the dot and we ignore it. And then what do? We try to do this parser, which is we can put it with this. Yeah, we can give it a name. We can do where is still caped column. Still caped column. So we parse until the escape colon, and if it doesn't find the escape colon, it will fail. Right, and if it finds instantly, it will succeed. And but we also transform that parser where we add that escape colon at the end if we find. And if this fails, we do the normal parse where we parse one, actually many. We parse, yeah, whatever we will parse normally. I think this is just fine. We don't want main, we actually want parse from 5. So now let's do the rule group, then let's do the parse. We can do a new type, CSS file, which will be just the CSS file is just a list of CSS case. Oh, actually, AST is the whole thing, right? So this is actually node, and then there is node here, and then we have the new type, which is the CSS AST, which is just the list of CSS node, right? Wrong with sorry. There. Yes. And this is CSS node. Yes, this is not needed. And why I want to do this? Because then I can do the instance. Then deriving to kind CSS AST where is defined for now. Okay, so now we have the CSS AST, which has a list of nodes. And what do we do with that? We map go on the node, and then we intercalate new line. Show, sorry. Yeah, there we go. So we're defining the show type class, which is basically to transform things to strings. And then this is kind of printing the file, right? So we can define CSS file, which is the parser of CSS AST. It's just many rule group. I think the rule group, yeah, the rule group parses spaces, so in between we will have spaces, and that's fine. And that would be mapped into CSS AST. So now this node, I don't know if needed. Then we parse just the CSS file. Yeah. Okay, so we're able to parse the CSS file, and let's remove the debugging thing that we added to these instances. So here we don't have these weird things that we added at the end. Then the mod, yes. But also I saw that actually we need to intercalate with two new lines. We will have one new line in between. And then we're printing the same file basically. So we parse it and we print it, and yeah, looks like okay. So we don't have any there. So let's read file sample. The expected, right? Expected is string, and then we parse from file. Let's put this like a right actual. So actual is just this. Then is it the same as expected? It's actually show, right? So actual is the same. It's different. So now I wonder what's different, and we can actually print right file sample parse. Yes. Now we can diff those sample what? Okay, so we are doing this, for example. Here there is an extra space, and here there are extra space. And wonder what that is. So when we print the selector, if it's a class, we should print the selector. And we print the root group with selector. Are we? Yeah, we can always run the selector with something. Okay, so now I get the actual right file with some parts. So the last one has space in it. It's not supposed. So there is this space that we're placing, but this is part of the selector. So selector, many, none of these. Okay, so we should trim, drop, file, trim, and trim. Trim. Right, so we are trimming at the end. So we want to first trim end and then put the generic selector. So okay, let's get the actual one again and then let's write that file. Yes. Okay. Now let's remove. And now the only diff is no new line. Okay. So we want to end the file the new line. Yes. Okay, so we end the find with the new line. Then that should. Yeah. So the only difference is that we are not conserving if these ones are in the same line, there will be sample parse. Yes. Sorry, I need to reload this. Yeah, so you see this one here, this one. So that's the only difference, but that's fine, I think. Okay. So we are kind of able to parse CSS. And yeah, we now are missing the media query, but that's fine. What probably we want to do one more thing is, because what we have, the rules group, we parse many, but many parses until it fails. So if in the sample we add some garbage, right? If we put this at the beginning, this should fail. What? Ah, it's okay. What is it producing? All of that is part of the... that's not good. All of this is parts of the selector. Okay. What if I start with something like that? Okay, so yeah. It succeeds, but yeah, it fails. The parser failed. So the first one, so it gave us basically an empty list. So what we want to do is we want to parse many, but then we want to parse spaces, just in case, and then end of file. Sorry. And what we want to keep is we want to keep the parser on the left. So we parse these, then we parse as many spaces as we want, and then we parse the end of file. So now it it succeeds because I didn't add any chunk at the beginning. But if I keep this chunk, it will fail. Yes. So yeah, we now are able to parse the full file, and I think this will be the same. Like if I add things that aren't supposed to be there, right? It finds them in line 74, whereas before it didn't. It parsed until it failed and ignored the rest, which is not what we want. Yeah, so I think that's good for today. We did quite good cool stuff. We can parse CSS. Now we basically we need to parse media queries and then yeah, some validation, I think, on yeah, we need to take a look. I'm thinking now, so one more thing, that actually generated Tailwind doesn't have yeah, so what we want is this pattern. Yeah, we don't have the dots. We don't have any forward slashes. They are removed. And what was the name of the class? Cover. So I think we should be able to search for the. Yes, you see? So it's there. In the CSS it's like that. But okay. But I think, yeah. I was thinking that we should be able to. We should remove it basically when we do the print here. But no, because then we will generate the wrong CSS. We need to remove it when we compare it, but that's for later. Okay, so that's good. Make sure to join the Discord chat, and yeah, thank you for joining.